While waiting for our Meraai to finally get sorted out, Mariki and I and a cuckload of South Africans have a wee distraction.
It is a great day to be a Springbok supporter, and not so lekker if you are French. Yo, what a game, man. You know, these days I go do hours at 9 o'clock, and now the rugby starts at 9 o'clock, so I sit there with matchsticks holding my eyes open, and hopefully by the end of this insert we will know whether we are through to the final. With regarding our girl, we are really hoping that the guys at Man Trucks will start stripping that gearbox and doing all the work underneath the vehicle, replacing all standard bolts with high tensile steel bolts. So yeah, lots to do, but I'm confident and I'm happy that we are with the right people.
The right people have also given me a slap on the wrist for not observing workshop protocols. I need to be really strong for this and dig deep in order to comply.
Oh, I must also mention that I was delicately cucked out when I arrived here today because of my footwear. I was told this is an authorized workshop and I may not wear my current footwear and I must wear closed shoes. I was like, yes sir. You need to understand something. Wearing closed shoes when you live on the lower south coast of KwaZulu-Natal is deeply traumatic. Deeply traumatic.
However, if I thought that was traumatic, I was about to get a PhD in traumatic. The mechanics have started working on Meraai. They have removed her gearbox and are exposing some dodgy workmanship. Block your ears because I am not going to beep my language. I'm now going to show you something that really made my non-existent hair curl. Something that is very hectic. Look here. This is holding my clutch in place, and you just can pull it out with your fingers. We were driving and this came out and I was going down somewhere and I needed to change down for whatever reason and this thing came out. I am actually fucking speechless. The guys are also really worried about the amount of movement on the entire engine system. They need to just check what is going on. There's a lot of loose nuts and bolts, a lot, and every time I get shown something I just think it can't get worse. Never in my wildest dreams did I think that work recently done on Meraai would turn up this kind of incompetence. Please guys, block your ears if swearing offends you.
I feel horrified and disgusted and totally screwed over by what has been discovered behind me. I cannot believe how Mariki and I have been treated. It is unacceptable, absolutely, by anybody's standards. This is shocking. The big issue and the main issue is everything to do with the mechanicals of that vehicle. This vehicle was a death trap when we had her and she was a bus. She is still a death trap. And Mariki and I would have been drying it, and there's stuff here that could have had a critical failure and the outcome would have been disastrous. And I am fucking angry, man.
I was also told by they whose name shall no longer be mentioned that I need new fuel injectors. Fortunately, I did not rush out and get the injectors replaced. What does need doing is a bit of work on the fuel pump.
The guys are also going to be removing the fuel pump, and we need to send it away to be set properly. It has never been set, and it's gonna, yeah, we got to send it to some other town, because where we are on the lower south coast, there's nobody right down here who can do the job, but it has to be done.
They started with the clutch and set about removing all the rods linked to the clutch pedal. It did not take long to find the cause of the hectic shudder that Meraai had developed.
Clutch and the flywheel have now been taken out, and what is interesting is if you look on the pressure plate and the actual flywheel, they're marks, two very distinct marks, and it's because the thrust bearing has not been pushing down straight but at an angle. And I must have said 10 times, including when I stood next to the guy where we bought this clutch from in Pretoria. He said, and I phoned the Oaks down here at the time, he said, make sure you set the clutch rods properly. They have not been set properly.
Neither had these claw-like spring goodies been set. So, unadjusted rods and unset claw-like thingies meant the clutch was not engaging as it should. This in turn means that Mariki and I must fork out more money to make it right.
These Oaks do not mess around. The clutch parts are back. The flywheel has been skimmed. I'm quite happy with the way that things are going. They're going to put this in today, and then we're going to move on to our fuel pump, and they're going to start checking all the body mounts and engine mounts throughout the whole vehicle.
After what was discovered this week, I am really nervous about what other nasty surprises are lying in wait for us. The next morning, only the gearbox was lying next to Meraai.
The clutch has now been installed, and what the guys have also done is they've replaced a lot of the bolts that were holding the gearbox in place, because they weren't the strongest bolts, so those have also been done.
The mechanics set these claw-like spring thingies before doing the clutch installation. A first in the life of Meraai.
Something now I've got to wrap my mind around is the fuel pump issue. It doesn't get sent away. I thought they took it out and sent it away. It's got to go with the vehicle. So I've got to get the vehicle to Kokstad, which is 130 k's from here. And that'll be the longest trip that she's ever done. So hopefully we will do that next week sometime. And then once that is done, maybe we can get her roadworthy.
The events of the last week have taken its toll on me. The elation felt when we took Meraai home is a dull memory hidden behind anxiety.
Something I have to mention, and that is, even though, I wish I could somehow explain to you what's going on inside me. It's like really not very nice. I almost feel nauseous from everything that has happened over the last years, and what we're finding now, but we're getting it fixed. But my point is that just being here, the sense of relief is colossal. I don't feel as though we are being held ransom, and I know the right things are being done. And yes, man, I've paid school fees now, hey? I've paid school fees big time.
Then, after a week of being punched in the gut and kicked in the teeth, this happened.
Snyman scores for South Africa. Andre Pollard, and there it is. There it is.
Our box never give up, and never giving up is the 101 of survival.
And never giving up is something that Mariki and I can relate to 100%. What a game. It wasn't pretty, but it was a win. And we are going to win with our build. We are really going to win. And I believe now we have the right team around us.
and they are supporting us, and that makes us feel very secure as we edge ever closer to that finishing line. Well, that is it for this week. Thank you so much for listening to me, letting me drop the odd F-bomb. I'm sorry about that. But yeah, onwards and upwards. And all of you guys, please, you know the drill. You know where we live. You know what's going on. It's election next year. Vote, man. That's how we change stuff. All right, well, look after yourselves. And look after your families. And look after your possessions. And above all, man, keep safe.